More gratifying than partaking in discourse over the worthiness of incremental games is discussing how said games often take vastly different approaches to the number go up loop. How active or idle is the player in core gameplay? Are upgrades one and done additions, or is there strategy involved? Is the player crunching numbers? Can they see all the numbers? Are plans drafted for the next few upgrades or the next few months? There's no wrong way to go about this, but the answer to these questions can give onlookers a better idea of the experience they're signing up for. Nodebuster, to its credit, takes conventionally unique approaches to these ideas and presents them well to boot. It's ironic then that it results in exactly what you'd expect an incremental game to look like in this day and age. For the majority of its 3 to 4 hour runtime, Nodebuster is not an idler. Players don't bust a few nodes until their auto Nodebusters outpace them, they actively play. Player attacks come at set intervals, but aiming attacks and collecting rewards are accomplished by moving the cursor around the play area. Play is divided between these active sessions and an upgrade tree upon termination of said sessions. In typical incremental fashion, upgrades start inexpensive and balloon in price as progress is made, eventually requiring alternate currencies that are, of course, more easily gained by buying more upgrades. One thing that makes Nodebuster an interesting experience are the levels of abstraction when it comes to numbers. Aside from a number over the health bar to denote that statistic, it's not immediately clear in session how much damage the player deals, how many hits nodes will take to bust, how much currency is being collected, or even why the player tanks as much damage as they do. That last one took me a bit to get a feel for, and that seems to be the point. Nodebuster is very intentionally designed to obfuscate this sort of info and allow the player to figure it out themselves, however cloudy their assumptions are. This foggy, vibes-based approach to player discovery pairs well with the simple but juicy audiovisual feedback on display, but unfortunately falls apart when the upgrade tree appears. Compared to the Gnorp epilogue, where a number of upgrades act in direct opposition to each other, Nodebuster offers very little room for the player to think critically about purchases. Worse yet, the hazy approach to numbers leaves even less meaning in a majority of the upgrades. +6 attack barely registers to a player that has no concept of how much +6 is, and no concern over whether they should buy +2 shield instead. They can always buy it next round. By the end of the game, the player should have had no issue completely maxing out everything in the upgrade tree. Though, personally, I'm quite thrilled by the short time it took me to complete. Not in a sarcastic, boy I'm glad that's over sort of way. Nodebuster really did suck me in. The game finds a great balance between its vibey, ethereal approach to numbers and its minimal, laid-back, and yet undeniably active approach to gameplay. I'd hardly say Nodebuster stands out, and many of its strengths are one screen away from its pitfalls, but it embraces a clear end of the spectrum with regards to incremental gaming. It keeps it simple, keeps it short, and most of all, keeps it off your second monitor.